How's going, guys? Welcome to the channel. In this video we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the Maelstrom protector and got Harem in American Dad? Huge shout out to Hotstreak's crossover stories for this story. If you wants to see awesome fanfiction like this, don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get into the video. Boston. Downtown near the docks is a warehouse where 4 men, wielding guns, were stationed outside on the lookout for intruders under orders to shoot anyone on sight. Inside, 2 other men were speaking to their leader. He is a very tall Russian man in his 50s, standing at a height of 6 feet 7 inches, heavy set with a lot of muscle, dressed in a gray business suit, curly black hair. This man is Egan Norris, a crime boss who's been in the business of drug trafficking for 30 years. I trust the shipping progress is going well. Egan spoke. Everything is coming along smoothly, no one suspects a thing. Man number 1 said. We've taken precautions on each delivery, they've made it into Mexico right on schedule. Man number 2 added. Good. I'd hate to hear even the slightest amount of bad news. Egan replied sternly. I've been in business since before either one of you were in your mother's womb. We assure you, boss, nothing will interfere with your operations. Man number 2 said. Seriously, who'd ever suspect Taste and Sweet, the world's biggest candy store, is actually a front for selling drugs out of the state? Man number 1 voiced his opinion. Egan now had a smile on his face and chuckles a little bit. You're right, perhaps I am being a bit paranoid. The smile on Egan's face had replaced with a serious expression. Still, we can't be too careful. I'm a known crime boss, and for years the police have tried to take me down. Due to lack of evidence, there's not much they can do, but that hasn't stopped them from snooping around. Let them investigate. All their efforts will be in vain. We're untouchable. Man number 1 said. Unknown to any of them, they were being spied on from a nearby building. Someone had been watching Egan and his men through a pair of binoculars, as well as listening in on their conversation with a headset recording every word they said into a typed cassette. The person in question is a teenage boy dressed in a black ski mask, black grenade vest, black turtleneck shirt, black pants, black belt with 2 gun holsters, and combat boots. This is Agent Naruto Uzumaki of the organization AT, which stood for Anti-Terrorists Eliminators. AT is an organization made up of agents with the sole purpose of protecting the world from terrorists and criminals alike. What's more is Naruto's mother and father were agents of AT long before he was born. Still, they continue to work as agents for the sake of their son, wanting him to grow up in a safe world. Whenever they were away on missions, Kushina would leave her son in the care of her best friend and fellow agent Mikoto Uchiha. Of course, Naruto figured out his parents were agents when he was 5 by sneaking into their car and into headquarters. It wasn't long until he'd gotten captured and would have been imprisoned if not for his parents' interference. Draco Stone, the leader and commander of AT, was impressed that a child was able to successfully infiltrate their headquarters under normal circumstances. He'd been furious by this. But seeing as he's Minato and Kushina's son, he let it slide. Draco gave Naruto a tour of the organization's headquarters and was told of its purpose. Naruto was amazed with everything he had learned, so much he decided to follow in his parents' footsteps by joining AT when he's old enough. From that day on, Naruto came to AT headquarters with his parents so they'd get to spend more time together before and after going on missions. It was like that every day until the day tragedy struck. Kushina and Minato were called for an emergency mission. As it out, there was some business going in New York. Not even Draco knew all the details. Draco ordered them to find any information they could regarding the mysterious bombings. The bombing threat so big it resulted in Minato and Kushina deaths. All the agents were heartbroken by the loss of their fellow agents no more than Naruto had been. The news of his parents' death hit him hard that he cried himself to sleep. Rather than have him sent home, Draco let Naruto stay at AT headquarters. Mikoto had been there to comfort Naruto in his time of grief. She was the closest person to him as his parents were. Mikoto loved Naruto as if he was her own child, so she decided to adopt him. Naruto happily accepted her as his new mother. Of course, she let him keep his family name out of respect for Minato and Kushina. As it turns out, Mikoto was a great foster parent. Sure, she might have been strict with him at times, but she loved Naruto nonetheless, doing everything in her power to make sure that he'd be happy and healthy. educating him at home since he didn't like school very much, teaching him to be civilized with others. Anytime Naruto felt sadness or pain, Mikoto was always there with open arms. That's the ways were between them until the bombings started up again. This time, it was in Italy. Mikoto offered to investigate, wanting to find who killed Minato and Kushina, both for her and Naruto's sake. It had taken her 2.5 months, but she found some useful information regarding the bombings. As it turns out, the bomber is a criminal who specializes in making bombs, and he works for one man alone. Sure, it wasn't much to go on, but Mikoto was satisfied with the results. She was a step away from finding out the bomber's identity. Unfortunately, her mission came to an end. A bomb had been planted in her hotel room. Before it went off, Mikoto was able to send what little info she had gathered to ATE headquarters. Draco personally told Naruto about Mikoto's death. It was the same thing with his parents. Naruto stayed in his room only. This time, he didn't want to be bothered by anyone, not even the commander. Naruto stayed in his room staring at the wall, not moving a muscle, nor did he eat or sleep. It was as if he were in a trance, waiting for something to happen. After a full month of being isolated in his room, Naruto finally came out, but different. He spoke to Draco requesting to join the organization, and of course his request had been declined, but that didn't stop Naruto from asking. Draco questioned his reasons for wanting to join ATE so badly. Naruto told him he wanted to honor his parents' memory by dedicating his life to fighting for the good of the world. Having been moved by Naruto's desire, he was allowed to join ATE under the condition he follows the organization's rules, which he agreed to without hesitation. Before Naruto could become an official member of ATE, he had to complete 6 years of the Union Fighters Academy, something he was determined to do no matter what. He passed his written exam on his first try with a perfect score, not something anyone would expect from a child. During field training, his performance was outstanding. It surpassed the previous agents, which were his father's. There wasn't another one who could top Minato's score. Normally, adults would have been pissed that they were outshined by a mere boy, but that wasn't the case. In fact, they praised Naruto for his accomplishments, even though he wasn't the type to gloat about his own success. His achievements continued, and soon he graduated from the academy in just a year. Draco pridefully welcomed him into the organization. Naruto's first assignment was to protect the Governor Aiden from an assassination attempt. As it turned out, Aiden's own sons plotted to have their father killed in order to gain access to their inheritance. However, their plan failed thanks to Naruto. He'd wired the governor's mansion to monitor everything. Aiden was grateful for what Naruto had done. He wanted to reward him, but Naruto kindly refused. The organization held a celebration in honor of their newest and youngest agent completing his first mission. Over the years, Naruto had proven himself to be an exceptional agent. Not only did he have all the other agents' respect, he never failed a mission. So that's his gain. Well, Egan, your time has expired. Reaching into his pocket, he takes out a cell phone and dials in a number. Yes, page me through to the Commander Draco, thank you. After a moment, a voice picked up on the other line. Agent Uzumaki, I trust you have some good news to report? I do, Commander. I know how Egan's been trafficking drugs out of the country. Taste and Sweets, owned by Jay Sawyer. He's using it as a front for smuggling drugs disguised as candy. And I think Jay is in on it as well, Naruto explained. I'm not surprised, Jay, that son of a bitch. Draco spoke over the phone. He has a long record of taking handouts, no matter who it's from. For now, let's focus on the matter at hand. How many men does Egan have with him? 4 outside and 2 inside, making a total of 6, Naruto replied. Then you know what do? Take 'em out, leave no one alive, Draco ordered. By your command, sir. Naruto ends the call. The blonde agent takes a grappling hook gun from the suitcase beside him, firing it into a cargo container, then zip lines down to the docks. Thankfully, he hadn't been seen. He thought carefully how he'd proceed with assassinating Egan. Having read about him in the file, he might be tough and can put up a fight, but he had one flaw: his weight, which made it hard for him to run very fast, something the blonde can use to his advantage. First, he needs to take out Egan's bodyguards. Naruto throws a grenade in the opposite direction, and it detonated. The explosion got Egan and his men attention. What was that? Egan questions, coming from inside the warehouse. I'm not sure, boss. Well then, find out. All of you go, and leave no stone unturned. Egan demanded. They nodded, then headed towards the docks and split up in pairs. Little did they realize they were walking into a trap as the henchmen continued on with their search. Naruto moved around completely unnoticed. Naruto planned to take Egan's men out in one shot, which included placing grenades around a gasoline tank. Once he had everything set up, the only thing left to do is lure them to their demise, and he knew exactly what to do. "Hey assholes, you looking for me?" Naruto yelled from his hiding place. "Don't tell me you're afraid of one guy." Naruto's voice reached the henchmen's ears as they ran in the directions of his taunts. He stood before them from a cargo ship, seeing as they were in position. "Hello boys, and goodbye." With that, Naruto fires his gun at the gas tank, which caused a massive size explosion. The explosion was so huge, the entire dock had been destroyed, leaving nothing behind except for the ship Naruto was on, since it had been sailed off the docks. Egan ran outside just in time to see the docks blown up. It didn't take him long to figure out his men were dead, and he was next. Sweating with fear, Egan slowly backs away. He bumps into something, or rather someone. Egan face to face with Naruto. The crime boss gasped at the sight of him and lost his balance as he fell back. Naruto stares down at him with his gun aimed straight for his head. "Who are you?" Egan stuttered. "Since you're about to die, I'll answer your question. My name is Naruto Uzumaki," he answered. "Why would you want to kill me? What have I done to hurt you?" Egan questions. "It's got nothing to do with me, asshole. The reason I'm killing you is simple: because you're the scum of the earth, selling drugs with no regard for the innocent lives you've destroyed, never imagining that anyone could rein you in. Well, now you and your operations are over for good. I hope you've enjoyed the way you wasted your life. Please don't kill me. You wouldn't kill an unarmed man, would you? Think about it, the two of us working together, no one will stand in our way. You can even be the boss of me," Egan pleaded. "Nice offer, but I don't make deals with slime balls," Naruto replied coldly, before shooting Egan point blank in the head. Again, Naruto phones his boss, letting him know his mission was complete. "Commander Draco, it's done. Egan's dead." "Good work, Agent Uzumaki. As always, you've done the organization proud," Draco praised. "It's my pleasure, sir. Shall I take care of Jay now?" he asked. "That won't be necessary. Jay's being dealt with as we speak. Your mission's done now, return to base," Draco ordered. "As you wish." Later at ATE headquarters. Naruto, finally getting back at headquarters, walks into his boss's office. Draco is a middle-aged man dressed in a red business suit. "Agent Uzumaki, reporting in, sir," Naruto said. "How many times do I have to tell you not to call me sir? Makes me feel old," Draco said in amusement, making Naruto chuckle. "Sorry, Draco, Mikoto's lessons are literally programmed into my brain," Naruto said. "Now the reason I called you here is for a new assignment, but not one you would expect," Draco said, making Naruto raise an eyebrow. "Meaning what?" Naruto asked. "Well, how should I put this? You've been working for this agency for well over 10 years, since your adopted mother was killed," Draco said, making Naruto nod slowly. "Your birth parents were without a doubt our best agents we ever had. However, you've never really had a normal life since all their deaths, and they would be rolling in their graves if you didn't have that," Draco said. "Where are you going with this?" Naruto asked. "I'm reassigning you to Langley Falls, Virginia as of right now, to have a more social life. And before you get confused, you'll still be doing what you do best, since the area has had reports of terrorist activities. You'll be in high school as a way to connect with other kids your age, and also maybe in the process find those that can become valuable candidates for our organization," Draco said. "Oh come on, I hate school," Naruto said, making Draco chuckle. "We all did, but you do need to have a normal life and not just working on killing terrorists 24/7. Your father would be ashamed of me if I let that happen. Just give it a chance, who knows, you may actually find a woman there," Draco said, making Naruto stutter, making Draco laugh at him. "Ugh, alright, fine," Naruto groans. "I never told you this before now, but former Governor Aiden passed away last month, and he has left you his fortune, including his mansion." "You're serious? Why'd he leave it all to me and not a member of his family?" Naruto questioned. Under normal circumstances, it would have been, but Aiden was deeply indebted to you for your heroism. That's why he entrusted his wealth to you. Draco explained. His trust in you was well placed as is mine. How much money did it leave me exactly? Naruto asked his superior. $450 billion, Draco answered. Naruto's jaw opened wide like it was gonna hit the ground. Never in his life did he ever imagine receiving a handout of so much money. I don't know what to say, Naruto said. What's there to say? You're rich and will no doubt use it for good, Draco said. Don't you know me so well? Naruto smiled. I should. Now, as for your living arrangements, your mansion is still under construction, but we do have a house available for you to stay in temporarily, Draco said. It going feel weird not going to AT every day, Naruto said. Your father said that same thing after he joined, but he got used to it, and so can you, Draco said. One more question, is there anything I need to about the area I'll be living in? Naruto asked. Yes, you'll be living on Cherry Street, and whatever you do, watch out for Stan Smith, Draco warned the young agent. Why is he dangerous? Naruto asked, raising his eyebrow. Quite the opposite. That man is just plain stupid, so stupid he doesn't even know it, Draco told him. Thanks for the heads up, Naruto said before leaving the office. Langley Falls, a few days later. Family emergency, everyone get in the kitchen, now on the double, Stan ordered. Stan Smith is an agent of the CIA. He has short black hair with an exaggeratedly large chin. He is wearing a blue suit with a lapel pin that is a simplified version of the US flag, consisting of 3 red and white stripes and a blue square. The rest of the Smith family came running into the kitchen with worried expressions on their faces. Stan looks at them to be sure everyone was present. His wife Francine is the first to speak. What is it, Stan? What's wrong? Francine asked. Francine Smith is an extremely attractive 38-year-old woman, who appears to be younger than her actual age. She has fair skin, around her neck is a golden necklace, her bust size is an E-cup, pink lips, and blonde hair that passed her shoulder blades. Francine has an hourglass figure. Her attire consists of a pink gown with straps which reveals her cleavage, and matching pink high heels. I'll tell you what's wrong. Late last night someone has moved into our neighborhood. Oh, he must be the one I talked to over the phone last week about the house he wanted to purchase, Francine said, remembering the job she used to have in real estate. This is the perfect opportunity for you to get acquainted with him. No, it is not. There's a terrorist in our own neighborhood and you're acting like it's something to be happy about, Stan said. Don't you think you're overreacting a bit? Francine questions her paranoid husband, hoping he wouldn't do anything foolish. I'm sure once you met him, you see that there's nothing to worry about. The hell I will. I'll never associate with a terrorist whose only goal in life is to take over the USA. And as a proud American citizen, it's my sworn duty to protect my country from domestic terrorists, Stan said, standing up from the table. Dad, how can you possibly believe that man is a terrorist? Besides, for all you know, he may turn out to be a decent person. Haley spoke her mind. Haley Smith is an average 18-year-old college student with black hair that reaches just past her shoulders, a headband around her forehead. She has the perfect teacup-sized breasts with a peace sign necklace around her neck. She's wearing a black shirt, which shows off some cleavages, and her belly button ring, and sky blue jeans. On her right wrist she has on a wristband, and on her left wrist is a bracelet. I'll tell you how I know. He's had a lot of packages delivered to his house since early this morning, and not once has he left his home, Stan informs his family. That doesn't prove anything. Besides, those packages you saw were possibly just his belongings, Francine told her husband. Au contraire. Those packages came all the way from Japan, not to mention a Buddha statue on his lawn, Stan said. So what? That only shows he likes artifacts that were made in Japan. Haley stated the facts. The Buddha statue represents the enlightenment within a person's life. Having one of the only shows how compassionate he is. There's no way someone like that can be a terrorist. Stan scoffs at his daughter's hippie crap. It's a ruse, Haley. He wants everyone to believe that he's friendly to avoid suspicion of his terroristic activities. Well, I'm not buying it. No terrorist will ever get the better of me. Alright, that's enough, Stan. We're going to welcome our new neighbors. You can either come with us or stay here, Francine said, fed up with hearing his accusations. Mom's right, the last new neighbors we had moved out in only a day thanks to you. God, you make living in our own neighborhood difficult with your terrorist paranoia, Haley said, supporting her mother's decision in greeting her neighbors. Well, excuse me for trying to keep our family safe, Stan said as crossed his arms. Stan's son, Steve, asked the only question that was his main concern. Dad, is one of new neighbors a chick? And if so, how big are her boobs? Steve Smith is a 13-year-old wimpy and scrawny nerd with short brunette hair. He wore square black glasses. His clothing comprised of a red open shirt worn like a vest over an orange t-shirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers, 2 blue stripes. Steve and Anita Smith, that was inappropriate, Francine scolded her son. Now I'm going to make a pie, and after I'm done we'll go meet the new neighbors. Haley, would you be a dear and set the table for me? Sure thing, Mom, Haley said with a smile. Later. The Smiths had to walk 30 minutes to reach their new neighbor's house on foot. They came to a stop in front of a modern 2-story brick house with an upstairs bedroom leading the balcony. While the house may be fancy, they also noticed the beautiful lawn rose bushes, including the statue of a Buddha meditating. This is absolutely beautiful. If the outside is this good, I can only imagine what the inside must look like, Francine said in delight. Stan didn't care how glamorous the house is. He knew it was all for show, or so his delusional mind made him believe. Watch your step, everyone, we're in enemy territory. The entire place is no doubt booby-trapped. Stan, will you give it a rest? All I ask is for you to be on your best behavior and leave your terrorist paranoia to yourself, Francine said sternly, careful not to drop the pie she's holding. Francine knocks on the door and it opens. There stood teenager who looks 18. He is 6 feet 2 inches with the body of an athlete. Spiky blonde hair with jaw-length bangs framing either side of his face, ocean blue eyes. Whisker-like markings on his left and right cheek. He is wearing a black t-shirt with a wind swirl in the center over a red long-sleeved shirt, gray jeans and low-top footwear. He's so hot, Haley thought, blushing at the blonde teen. Yes, can I help you? He asked the Smiths. Hello, we're your new neighbors and we came here to welcome you to the neighborhood. I baked this cinnamon pie especially for you as welcoming present, Francine said, smiling. That's very kind of you and I appreciate it, he said, accepting the pie. My name's Naruto, by the way, Naruto Uzumaki. Francine smiled happily that things are turning out well and hoped it would remain that way. It's nice to meet you, I'm Francine Smith. Francine introduced herself, then points to Haley. My daughter Haley, my son Steve, and this is my husband, Stan Smith. Stan cuts his wife off and offers Naruto a handshake, which he accepts. Well, it's nice to meet you all. Would you like to come in? Naruto asked politely. We'd be delighted, Francine replied. This is the perfect opportunity for me to find out what his plans are. You're going down terrorist, and you don't even know it, Stan thought. Before allowing them in, Naruto asked the Smiths to take off their shoes. Francine and her kids did as Naruto requested, while Stan was hesitant to do so but did as he was told to gain access into the blonde's house. They followed Naruto into his home, which had been custom-made Japanese style. Welcome to my humble abode, make yourself comfortable, Naruto said kindly, taking a piece of the pie as he placed it down on the wooden floor table. Thank you, and I must say this is a lovely home you have, Francine said, admiring the house. Glad you like it, but I can't take credit for the designs. All I did was call to have the place customized and ordered in a few things before moving in, Naruto said truthfully. While Naruto was speaking with Francine, Stan had been listening in on their conversation for any mention or a secret code regarding his scheme. Come on, start talking about your terrorist plots. Just standing here, listening to you and Francine go on about your house is a waste of time, Stan thought. From the way your house is designed, I'm guessing you're Japanese? Haley said to Naruto. Guilty as charged, Naruto said with a grin. And I tell by your appearance you're a hippie. Is that a problem? She asked. Not at all. In fact, I have a friend who's the same as you. A strong female who fights for what she believes in, Naruto replied. Wow. She sounds like someone I'd love to meet, Haley said. Unfortunately, she doesn't stay in one place for too long since she likes to travel all over the world. But every now and then she goes back to her hometown to visit her parents, and she always invites me over. If you like, you can come with me, Naruto offered. I'd like that, Haley said. Stan was growing impatient, still waiting to hear Naruto's terrorist pilot. Damn it, at this rate I'll never figure out what he's planning. Guess I'll have to pry it out of him, Stan thought deviously. So terrorist, where are your parents? Are they terrorists too? Stan asked, narrowing his eyes at him. Stan/Dad! Francine and Haley exclaimed in unison. Both of them were outraged by he said to their neighbor. Naruto bows his head down sadly. I don't have any parents, they were killed when I was 5. The Smiths were shocked to hear that Naruto is an orphan minus Stan, of course being insensitive, believing his parents' deaths to be an act of deception. Oh my God, I am so sorry, Francine said sympathy to the young man, then glares angrily at her idiotic husband. Stan, you owe Naruto an apologize. Naruto puts his hands on Francine's shoulders and gave her a kind smile. It's all right, I'm used to it. Francine nodded, then asked, Who's taking care of you? No one. After I lost my parents, my mother's best friend Mikoto Uchiha adopted me. I had no trouble calling Mom since she had always been there for me even before my parents were killed. 2 years ago, Mikoto was taken from me by the same person that killed my parents, and I was left alone. After Mikoto's death, she left me everything to me in her will, and I inherited $450 billion. Naruto half lied. Wait a minute, you're loaded? Steve asked with interest. Yeah, I am, Naruto replied. That is awesome. The two of should hang. I'll even show you best places to spend your money, Steve said, imagining himself riding in a limo with hundreds of beautiful women in bikinis. Steve, pretending to be friends with someone just cause he or she has lots of money is selfish and wrong, Haley said, disgusted that her little brother attempted to take advantage of Naruto. I never imagined being neighbors with a billionaire, let alone one who'd be living in a place like this, Francine said, not that she had a problem with it. She thought he'd be living in a mansion rather than a 2-story house. I'm only going to be here temporary until my mansion is finished building. Guess that explains what the construction workers were doing, Francine said, having seen the construction site further up the road. Naruto, what school do you go to? Haley asked, curious to know if he'll be attending the same community college as her. Next week I start school at Pearl Bailey High School, Naruto replied, much to Haley's disappointment. You'll be in the same school as me. I can't wait to introduce you my friends Snot, Barry, and Toshi, Steve said, fantasizing, Naruto buying himself and his friends a ton of games. Great, I can't wait, Naruto said, unenthusiastic. He then turns his attention back to Francine. By the way, Francine, that pie you made was incredible. Glad you liked it, Francine said. Have you ever considered working in a bakery? Naruto asked the older blonde. Well, no. No one's ever asked me that before, Francine answered truthfully. The only people she's cooked for is her family and on other occasions stand friends from the CIA. But it would give me something to do in my spare time. If you like, I can help get your own business started, Naruto said, unaware of the glare Stan was giving him. Absolutely not, Francine, you have better things to do than working in a bakery, especially with some guy you've only known for an hour, Stan said. He still didn't trust Naruto, let alone allow him to anywhere near his family. More importantly, he couldn't accept the idea of his wife working and earning more money than him again. If Francine were allowed to work, there wouldn't be anyone to do all the housework. What could possibly be better than Mom working? Haley asked her father. Simple, Haley, your mother already has a job being a housewife, which includes doing all the housework, and best of all, it's free, Stan answered. Naruto was angered by what Stan just said. He now understood why Draco didn't want him to interact with Stan, and it wasn't just because of his stupidity. The man is inconsiderate, and put his own needs above anyone else's, even his own family. Don't you think Francine has the right to decide for herself whether or not she wants to work? Besides, it'd be great if she had a social life than be a stay-at-home mom, Naruto told the CIA agent. And I agree with Naruto, Mom shouldn't have to waste her life as a slave in her own home. Haley stood up for her mother. Haley had a close relationship with her mother since she was little, much better than she did with her father. Unlike most girls her age, Haley actually enjoyed spending time with Francine no matter what it is they're doing together. While she cared for her well-being, she hated the fact that she did nothing but housework, something she either approved or blamed Francine for. Her father had a restriction her rights as a woman to choose for herself. Your mom is not getting a job, end of discussion. Stan stomped his foot down angrily. Looks at Naruto. And as for you terrorist, I know what you're up to. Trying to brainwash my wife with foolish ideas, like she can work. What are you talking about? Naruto inquired. Don't try to deny it. This house and everything in it is all a lie, and I can prove it by exposing his evil lair. Stan deduced. Stan begins destroying Naruto's house. He knocked over a glass cabinet filled with antique hand-painted plates. Next, he tore off the room's slide doors, followed by throwing his furniture through the windows. Stan used a lamp, smashed the TV screen, then used to shatter the ceiling lights. Naruto and the others watched in horror as Stan continued wrecking the house. But what really made Naruto mad was Stan had ripped a precious photo of himself with Mikoto and his parents. What the hell are you doing? Naruto yelled, like he was about to get into a fight. What does it look like I'm doing? Searching your home for the secret passageway that leads to your lair. Stan resumes punching holes in the wall. You moron, you destroyed my house. I spent $275,000 to have the place decorate the way I wanted, and now it's a dump, Naruto said. This could have gone a lot easier if you'd confessed to being a terrorist, Stan said nonchalantly. I think you all should leave now, Naruto suggests in a calm manner, although he's still upset about what Stan did. Francine wanted to apologize to Naruto for what Stan had done, but she could tell a simple apology wasn't going to be enough. She feared he now hated her family, and would move out of the neighborhood as soon as possible. Francine glares at her husband. Once again he drove away another neighbor. Steve and Stan were already out the door, which just left Francine and Haley alone with Naruto. Come on, let's go home, Francine said to Haley with depression in her voice. She gives Naruto another look before saying, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but I'm very sorry for what my husband did. While Naruto may be pissed at Stan, that didn't mean he held any hostility towards Francine and Haley. He called out to them just as they were about to leave. Francine, Haley, don't leave, I want to speak with the two of you, he said as the two female Smiths stood in his doorways. Just because I'm furious with Stan right now, doesn't mean I don't want anything to do with you two. Really? Francine inquired. Naruto nodded in response. Yes, in fact, may I see your phones? They did as Naruto asked and gave their cell phones. He pressed in a few buttons, then gives them back, noticing they each had a number added to their context. You've given us your number? Haley questioned. But both of you are very kind compared to Stan and Steve. I'd like for yous to be more than just neighbors and be friends, Naruto said. Francine was overjoyed, even though their welcoming was a complete disaster. Naruto chose to remain their neighbor, and what's better, he wanted to be their friend. We'd be more than to you're happy to be your friends, Francine said as Haley nodded in agreement. Call me anytime if either of you need my help or want to hang out, I'm always available, Naruto said. Again, it was nice meeting you both. And it was great meeting you as well. And about your house, I'll have Stan pay for all the damages, Francine offered. No offense, Francine, but I don't want your husband anywhere near me right now. Besides, I don't want you to feel responsible for Stan's mistakes. Are you sure? Francine asked, concerned. I got the money to have this place fixed up in no time. Okay then. Listen, Naruto, I know this may not be the best time to ask, but would you consider having dinner with us sometime? Francine asked. Despite wanting to avoid Stan, for the time being, Naruto couldn't refuse his new friend's requests. "Dinner would be great, just name the time and the place," he said. "Wonderful. Come on, Haley, it's getting late," Francine said as she left the house. "Be right there, Mom," Haley said as was about to leave. Naruto stops her. "What's wrong, Naruto?" "Nothing. I was interested to know if you had any plans this Saturday?" Naruto asked, making her raise an eyebrow. "Oh, what for?" Haley asked. "Simple, to take you out on a date," Naruto said, making her eyes widen before smiling. "Do always ask the girls you first meet out?" Haley asked playfully. "No, just the amazingly beautiful ones like you, and to prove I'm serious, why don't I prove it?" Naruto said. "Oh yeah, how?" Haley asked, and her eyes widened when he kissed her softly on the lips, and she moaned into the kiss, wrapping her arms around his neck, and he pulled back so they could breathe. "Oh wow," Haley said in a daze. "Is that a yes?" "Well, since you've been a gentleman, sure," Haley said, and pulls him into a kiss which he returned before she pulled back, then walks out of his house. And since she enjoyed her time with him, she slightly pulled down her pants, almost giving him a full view of her butt and black thong. Naruto whistled as he looks at her rear. She's a real keeper," Naruto said to himself. Smith House. Things were not going well for Stan. The minute he got home, he was scolded by his wife and daughter. Needless to say, either one of them were giving him the benefit of the doubt. "I can't believe you did that, Stan," Francine yelled in anger. "Francine, that boy is a terrorist. Why can't you accept it?" Stan yelled back at his wife. "Who are you to judge? You don't even know him like Mom and me," Haley said, glaring at him. "Know him? I don't have to know him to know he's a terrorist. Everything he told us is a lie. He stole money, and I bet he killed his own parents to satisfy his own goals," Stan said, shocking the girls. "Naruto is nothing like that. He was kind enough to invite us into his home, which you destroyed. And despite that, he gave us his number and asked us to be his friends," Francine said. "He what?" "You heard her, Dad. Naruto asked if we could to be friends, and we accepted," Haley told her father. "The hell you did! I forbid you from seeing that boy ever again," Stan said sternly. "You can't do that!" Haley exclaims. "I just did. As an American family, we do not socialize with non-Americans," Stan said. "Stan, you know my parents are Chinese, and yet you married me," Francine pointed out. "That's different. They adopted you, and you're an actual American," Stan said, making Francine scowl. "I don't care what you say or do, nothing will make us not be around Naruto, end of story. And because of how rude you were to him, you'll be sleeping on the couch for a whole week. Good night, Stan," Francine said, throwing him a pillow, then walks upstairs. "I'm with her, night, asshole," Haley said, making Stan growl as she followed her mother. Meanwhile, Naruto sighed as he sat on his bed in his temporary home. "Coming here wasn't as bad as I originally thought. I made 2 new friends who are angels. It a real shame Francine's married to a prick like Stan. In my personal opinion, she could do a lot better. If things work out between Haley and me, I'll know for sure if we're meant to be together. Dad always told me I'd find that special someone, and I think Haley is that special someone," Naruto said to himself as he drifted off to sleep. Afternoon, Cherry Street. It's been 5 days since Naruto had moved to Langley Falls. Aside from the Smith family, Naruto had gotten to know his other neighbors as well. There was the White family. Chuck is the same as Stan, only less arrogant, and laughs after every sentence he says, which was really annoying. His wife Christy is the absolute worst woman he'd ever came into contact with. He could understand her belittling Stan, seeing as he's an idiot, but not Francine. Like Francine, she's also a housewife only because she chooses so, since her family are wealthy. Their daughter Betsy wasn't anything like her parents. She's nice and companionate to others, as well as a great gymnast. Next were Greg and Terry. Not only are they news reports, but a gay couple as well. Of course, Naruto didn't have a problem with their lifestyle, unlike most who are homophobic and treated gays as though they're a maniac to society, something Naruto didn't accept since one of his fellow agents is a homo and no one was bothered by it. Al Tuttle is chatty individual but also jolly. He lost his wife last month from a Coca-Cola sign that fell on her. Naruto understood how he must be feeling and offered to keep him company, which he happily accepted. Right now Naruto is jogging the streets of his neighborhood. Even though he doesn't have a car, he enjoyed running for the exercise. Soon his cell phone rings, checking the ID number, and saw it was Draco calling. "Hello?" Naruto said through the phone. "Hello, Agent Uzumaki. I'm just calling to see how you're doing." Draco spoke. "I'm alright, nothing too serious I can't handle. Although Stan has already made it on my most hated people's list," Naruto replied. "You've met Stan even after I warned you to avoid him," Draco exclaims. "Actually, his family greeted me. Well, at least his wife and daughter did. I also befriended them. Stan trashed my house thinking I was terrorist. That's exactly why I didn't want you making contact with that man. He has a terrorist paranoia as bad as my sister's gambling addiction." "Your sister has a gambling addiction?" "Yes. It's how she lost everything, including her mind." "I'm sorry to hear that." "Everyone is. But enough about that. Another reason I called to inform you that you'll be receiving a rather large package tomorrow morning." "What sort of package?" Naruto asked. "If I told you, you wouldn't be surprised now, would you? As much as I hate to cut our conversation short, there's another matter I need my attention. Before I go, let me give you another piece of advice regarding Stan. Should he bother you in any way, just do what you can to make his life a living hell," Draco told him. "Sure thing. It'll be the same as interrogating a prisoner," Naruto said. "Have fun," Draco said before ending his call. Naruto put away his cell phone and wanted to resume with his exercise. However, fate had other things in mind. Someone called out to the young man, getting his attention. Naruto looks across the street and sees Francine, who stood beside her car waving at him. "Hey Naruto!" Francine greeted kindly. "Hello to you as well, Francine." Naruto waved back, checking to see if there are any cars coming. He ran across the street. "How've you been?" "I'm good, what about you? I haven't seen you since you and my family met Sunday night," Francine said. "Couldn't be better. I finally got my house fixed back, although it took longer than I thought it would," Naruto replied. "I still feel awful for that," Francine told the younger blonde. Naruto sighs. "I told you before, Francine, what happened wasn't your fault. Now stop blaming yourself." Francine nodded in understanding. "Are you going somewhere?" Naruto asked. "To the grocery store. I'm cooking meatloaf tonight," Francine answered. "I see. Isn't Stan going with you?" Naruto questions. "Stan won't be home until 6 o'clock, Francine replied. "If you like, I'd be happy to go with you," Naruto offered. "Besides, I'd hate for anything to happen to you." Francine was moved by the young man's kindness. It warmed her heart to know how much he cared for her well-being. "That's so sweet, and I'd be delighted if you came with me," Francine said truthfully. Naruto and Francine got into the car and drove off. While Francine was driving, she turned her attention away from the road and looks at Naruto. Since it was just the two of them, she'd figured this might be the perfect opportunity for them to get to know each other. She only hoped that she wouldn't say anything offensive. "What's Japan like?" Francine asked, beginning the confession. Naruto knew immediately what Francine's aim was and had no problem going along with it. "It's a great place to live, like any other city. There are a lot of special events that take place in Cherry Blossom Park. Perhaps you and your family would like to go there with me." "I look forward to it. Although Stan will need some convincing," Francine said. Naruto scoffs at that before expressing his opinion. "If you ask me, he needs his brain fixed. Seriously, what is that guy's problem? Stan can be paranoid when it comes to terrorists. In fact, it's the reason I don't have any friends," Francine said with sorrow in her voice. "I used to be friends with my neighbors, but because of Stan's security clearance, it makes them uncomfortable and keep their distance." "You're wrong about that, Francine. I'm your friend," Naruto said truthfully, putting his hand on her shoulder, looking into her eyes. "Nothing Stan does will ever make me think otherwise. No matter what, we'll always be friends." "Do you mean it?" Francine questions, hoping his words were true. "Every word of it. I'll be your friend forever," Naruto with a smile. Francine didn't know how to explain it, but something in her heart told her that the young man was serious. She was grateful that someone like him was now part of her life. It brought a smile to her face. "Thank you, Naruto, you're such a sweetie," Francine told him. "It's the way my parents raised me. I was fortunate to be raised them, including Mikoto." "What are your parents like, Francine?" Naruto asked. "Well, I never really knew my biographical parents," Francine began. "I spent the last 7 years of my childhood in an orphanage. At the age of 5 I meet a nice Chinese couple, Ma Ma and Ba Ba Ling. They wanted to adopt me right away. Unfortunately, I was too expensive, but that didn't stop them from visiting me each day until finally, they had the money to adopt me." Francine's mind thought back to the day she was brought to her new home. "Not only did I have a new mother and father, but a sister as well, who's 3 years older than me. Gwen was so excited when we officially met. She was the best big sister ever and still is," Francine continued. "Despite not being related by blood, she loved me as any biological sister would, and we've been close ever since." Naruto was happy that Francine had been taken into a family that cared dearly about her. Not many people are that lucky or were abandoned. "Your adopted family sound great people, especially Gwen. She sounds like the sort of sister most siblings could dream of having," Naruto said. "Gwen's always been there for me, both good and bad times," Francine said with happiness in her voice, thinking of her sister. "It's important to appreciate the people in your life while you have the chance. It doesn't matter if you're not related by blood. Always treasure the time you have with those who love you. That's something Mikoto told me. Even to this day, everything she's ever taught me is kept in my heart," Naruto said. "Mikoto was a really smart woman. You were lucky to have some like her in your life. Wish I'd had the chance to meet her myself. We could have been such good friends," Francine said. "I believe that to be true," Naruto replied. There's something regarding Francine's birth parents that he'd been concerned with. "Francine, haven't you ever wondered who your real parents are?" Naruto asked. "Not really, and I have no interest in meeting them either. The Lings are my only family, and that's the way I want it to stay," Francine replied. "I understand your decision. However, unlike yourself, most folks who are adopted would want to know about their biological parents. You and I alike in that matter. We were both adopted by people who loved us," Naruto said. "It's like we're kindred spirits, plus we're both blondes," Francine joked at the end, which the two of them shared a heart-filled laugh. Red State Grocery Store. Upon entering the store, Naruto got a shopping cart and offered to push it for Francine. They went down the kin aisle. One of the items was on the top shelf. Francine tried to reach for it but was unable. As Francine struggled to get the kin, it gave Naruto the chance to look at her sexy ass. Even though she was fully dressed, Naruto's mind imagined her nude. And while he had no problem with those thoughts, he didn't want to strain herself even over the smallest thing. Naruto comes to the older blonde's side and easily picks up the kin due to his height. However, there was still much more items to pick up. Normally it took Francine longer to do her grocery shopping, but with Naruto there things got done a lot faster. Not only that, he got every on Francine's list without her having to lift and finger. The more time Francine spent with Naruto, the more she saw his generosity, which is the opposite of Stan. Hell, she couldn't even recall Stan doing something like that, and now she was wondering if she could convince Stan to take lessons from Naruto on how to be a gentleman. Now that they had everything, it was time for them to check out. Then out of nowhere, a man in a black trench coat approached the two blondes. He smiled at Francine while gazing at her E-cup breasts. "Hey Toots, what's a nice girl like you doing with a nobody like this? Why don't you come over to my place? You and I can have a party," he said. "No. Me and my friend are leaving," Francine said. "I wasn't asking. Either you can come with now or things can get ugly," he said, taking out a knife. Naruto stood in front of Francine, protecting her. "Back off, asshole. I won't like you lay a finger on Francine, not while I'm here," Naruto said determinedly. "If know what's good for you, you'll get out of my way," he threatened. "Make me." Naruto told Francine to step back just in time before the assailant charged at the blonde, swinging his knife. Naruto sidestepped the incoming attack and grabbed the assailant's arm, then twists it, causing him to drop his weapon as he yelled in pain. Naruto delivered a roundhouse kick to the assailant's face, knocking him unconscious. Francine rushed to Naruto's side. Despite not getting injured, she was still concerned for his well-being. "Are you all right, Naruto?" she asked. "I'm fine. What about you? Are you okay?" Naruto replied. "Oh, Naruto, thank you," Francine said as she gave him a hug, unintentionally pressing her breasts up against him. Naruto returns the hug, grateful he was able to protect Francine even at the attempt of his own life. It wasn't long until the store owner came to them demanding to know what had happened. Francine explains the situation and how Naruto saved her. The owner was impressed with Naruto's heroic action that he rewarded him. From that day on, anytime he was shopping at the Red State grocery store, he'd get 40% off of anything he buys for the rest of his life. It wasn't long until the police came and took the assailant away. Francine and Naruto got in the car and drove off. "Again, Naruto, thanks for saving me," Francine said. "It was nothing. I do anything help a friend," Naruto replied. Francine wanted to do special for Naruto to show her appreciation. "Naruto, would you like to come over to my house?" Naruto sighs. "As much as I don't want to see Stan, but for you, I'll gladly make an exception." "Wonderful, and I'll bake you some of my homemade muffins as special thank you," Francine told him. "If you're making them, then I already know they'll be delicious," Naruto praised. Smith House. Francine's car pulls into the driveway and the two blondes exited the car with Naruto carrying the groceries. Francine opens the door for Naruto since he's a guest. "Wow, this is a great place you got here, Francine. I mean, it's nothing too classic, but it's got style," Naruto said as he observes the living room. "I don't know about that. Stan only got the house at a reasonable price. The previous owner couldn't be happier to move out," Francine told him. "Mom, is that you?" Haley called from the next room. "Yes, it's me," Francine replied. Haley walks into the living room with along Steve. Both are surprised to see Naruto is with their mother. "Naruto? Not that I'm unhappy to see you, but what are you doing here?" Haley asked. Naruto explains his run-in with Francine and how he saved her life. Haley was grateful for what Naruto had done, that she wanted to kiss him but stopped herself from doing so since it'd be awkward with her mother and brother watching. "That was a brave thing you did, Naruto," Haley congratulated the blonde. "Oh, come on guys, any more praise and I'm gonna explode with joy," Naruto joked. "Say Naruto, why don't the two of us go to the arcade? They have this game called Troll Blaster everyone's dying to play," Steve told him. "Another time, Steve. Francine's treating me to some of her muffins," Naruto replied. Steve groans much to Haley's amusement. "I told you pretending to be friends with someone cause they're rich is selfish and wrong. Did you really think becoming Naruto's friend meant he'd buy you things?" She laughed. "Laugh all you want, but at least I don't smell like a hedgehog," Steve countered. "Take that back, shrimp," Haley demanded. "Make me," Steve challenged. "That's enough, you two, and I don't want to hear any more arguing out of either of you," Francine said with authority. "Yes, Mom," they said simultaneously. "Good. Naruto, why don't you go wait in the kitchen and I'll get started with those muffins," Francine told the teen. The younger blonde nodded as he followed Francine with Haley right behind him, while Steve left to hang with his friends. Naruto places the groceries on the counter, then sits beside Haley, who's doing her homework. Every few seconds Haley stared at Naruto, remembering the kiss they shared and wanted to experience that moment again. Naruto met Haley's gaze, smiling warmly at her. They looked into each other's eyes like it had been an eternity, wishing nothing would spoil this moment. However, something did happen that Naruto didn't expect from the Smith family. "Hey Francine, did you get the Twinkies I asked for?" a voice called from the other room. "Don't forget you promised to give me one as well," another voice spoke, but in a German accent. Francine and Haley immediately stopped what they were doing. Neither one of them had told the other residents to remain hidden, and for good reasons. Entering the kitchen is a 4-foot-tall creature with gray-colored skin and a large head, waddled in, carrying a fishbowl with a small goldfish inside. "What are you two doing? Can't you see we have a guest in the house?" Francine yells as she could only try and think of a believable lie. Both the alien and fish turned to see a blonde-haired teen who either one heard entering the Smith house. Haley stood there frozen, unable to move or speak. The secret her family had been keeping for years was now exposed. "Sup?" Naruto waves with a friendly smile as everyone looked like he'd grown an extra head. "You're not freaked out by any of this?" Francine inquired as he shook his head. "Not really. I've seen stranger things in my life compared to that. An alien and talking Finnish is pretty normal to me," Naruto replied. "That's good to hear," Haley said, relieved. Naruto gets up from the table and moves towards the fish and alien until he was now standing in front of them. "My name's Naruto, what's yours?" The fish is the first to speak. "Main name's Klaus." "Nice to meet you, Klaus." Naruto stuck out his index fingers as a sign for a handshake, which Klaus pops up to the surface and shakes Naruto's fingers with his fin, then turns to the alien. "And what's your name?" Roger." The alien stuttered before placing Klaus's fishbowl on the table. "I'm just gonna go back upstairs to the attic," he said as he attempts to run but was stopped by Naruto. "There's no need for you to be afraid of me. I'm not going to hurt you," Naruto assured. In truth, Roger was far from afraid. He was actually relieved that someone knew what he is and wasn't freaked out about it. This gave the perfect opportunity to socialize with someone besides the Smith family. That is, unless Stan doesn't ruin it, which he probably will. "I'd like to be your friend if you'll let me," Naruto spoke. "You would?" Roger questions. Naruto nodded in response. "Absolutely, and don't worry, your secret is safe with me." Francine was glad that Naruto was okay with Roger and Klaus, since it meant he'd be able to come over with her having to worry about them being exposed. While Francine was baking muffins, Naruto was getting to know Roger. Years ago he had been held prisoner in Area 51 until he escaped. Stan was among agents assigned to his capture, only to ended up saving his life, and ever since Stan has allowed him to live in the Smith's home. "I'm actually surprised Stan didn't turn you in after saving his life. Guess he's not that much of a douchebag as I thought, but he's still a douchebag," Naruto said. That got Roger and the others to laugh. Even Francine got a giggle at hearing her husband being insulted. "I agree with you on that," Roger laughed. "It must be frustrating having to be cooped up in this house 24/7, Naruto asked Roger. "Yes, it is," Roger stated, depressed. "Roger, you know you're not allowed to leave the house," Haley told him. "I know, Haley, I know. Do you have any idea what it's like to be cooped up in your own home?" Roger inquired. "I need to get out and spread my wings." Naruto felt sorry for Roger. All he wanted is to interact with humans more. Living in isolation is never a good thing. The blonde came up with a solution that'll help Roger blend in with society, something Stan might not approve of, but his opinions didn't matter to him. He then sees Haley staring his way again, but this time it was like she had a question to express. "Haley, is there something you want to ask me?" Naruto inquired. Haley sighs. "Remember when you asked me out on a date? How could I forget such memorable day?" "Well, I was wondering if you still wanted to go out with me?" Haley questions. "Of course I do, why wouldn't I?" Naruto replied. "Just curious is all," Haley said, but in truth, she wanted to be sure if Naruto hadn't changed his mind. "You two are going on a date?" Francine questioned, coming into their conversation. Naruto rubs the back of his head sleepily. "Well, you see, Francine, it's like this. I sort of have asked Haley to go on a date with me. I'm sorry for not telling you earlier." The older blonde didn't look upset by this. She felt happy to know that someone like Naruto had asked out her daughter. "It's all right, I don't really mind," Francine said. "You don't?" Naruto and Haley spoke simultaneously. "Of course not, I trust you both complete, especially you, Naruto," Francine replied with a smile. "Thanks, Mom," Haley told her. "No problem. Now then, I've finished baking my muffins. Which flavor would you like to try first, Naruto? Blackberry, strawberry, blueberry, banana nut, chocolate chip, or cinnamon?" Francine asked, showing him the muffins on a tray. "Anyone is good," he replied, taking a random muffin and eats it. No matter how many times I try your cooking, it always leaves a delightful taste in my mouth." "If you like that one, then you're definitely gonna love this next one." Francine placed another muffin before the younger blonde. I won't argue with that. But seriously, Francine, there's more to you than being a housewife, a lot more. You should do more to exploit yourself rather than waste your life away like this. Naruto encouraged. Just as Francine was going to respond, the front door opens, followed by, "Honey, I am home and I'm horny." "Oh great, Stan's home. Just what I need to make my day perfect," Naruto said sarcastically. Stan walks into the kitchen holding flowers with a smile on his face. The second he sees Naruto along with Roger and Klaus, his smile turns to a frown as he drops the flowers. "What the hell is going on?" Stan screams at the top of his lungs. Stan screamed so low the entire neighborhood stopped what they were doing and wondered where the sound had came from. "Dad, what's wrong?" Haley asked. "What's wrong? What's wrong?" "I'll tell you what's wrong. I specifically told you we're not to socialize with that boy, and Roger, what are you doing revealing yourself to another human being, and to a terrorist no less?" Stan spoke angrily. "Chill out, Stan. He isn't bothered by what I am, besides he even wants to be my friend," Roger said as he a bite of a muffin. "My God, he's gotten to all of you." "Well, I'm not taking any chances, and there's only one solution to this problem," Stan said. "And what's that?" Haley asked, rolling her eyes. "I'm gonna have to kill him," Stan said as he took his gun from his jacket, aiming it at Naruto's head, shocking everyone in the room. "Stan, you can't be serious!" Francine cried. "You bet I am. If the CIA finds out about Roger, it's game over for all of us," Stan replied. "You can't kill him. Dad, Naruto's given us his word he wouldn't tell," Haley defended the blonde. "Doesn't matter, he's a terrorist, and I'm taking him down," Stan said, ready to shot Naruto. The blonde teen wasn't frightened even though he had a gun pointed right at him. "Before you take a shot at me, may I perform one final trick?" Naruto asked. "What sort of trick?" Stan raised an eyebrow. "This." Naruto grabs the tray, dumping the remaining muffins on the table before throwing it at Stan, which knocks the gun from Stan's hand. Naruto jumps over the table and knees Stan in the stomach, then punches him so hard he hits the ground. The blonde teen glares down at the CIA agent. "Listen up, you stupid motherfucker. If ever point a gun at me again, I'll burst a cap in your ass, and I don't give a shit if you're with the CIA or FBI. I'll still burst a cap in your ass. You can call your friends on me if you want to, and I'll shot them too." The other members of the Smith family were shocked and amazed how the blonde defeated Stan without breaking a sweat. Naruto turns to them, seeing their facial expressions. "Sorry for beating up your husband, Francine, but I have the right to defend myself. Plus, this jackass had it coming," Naruto said. "It's fine, sweetie, as long you're alright," Francine said, still surprised by what she witnessed even though she'd seen him beat down an assailant earlier. "Where'd you learn to fight like that?" "I train on a daily basis at the YMCA," Naruto half lied. "Well, that explains a lot, and why Stan got his ass kicked," Roger said as Klaus laughed. "I have to get going, Roger. Klaus, it was great meeting you two. Let's hang out sometime," Naruto said as they both nodded in agreement. "Haley, I'll come by and pick you at 8 o'clock tomorrow." "I'm looking forward to it," Haley replied with a smile. As Naruto left with the back door, Stan got up to feet, glaring angrily at the blonde for what he'd done. The conversation between him and Haley had concerned and wanted to know what it meant. "Haley, what the hell did he mean by pick you up at 8? Stan said to Haley. "What do you think it meant? I have date with him tomorrow night," Haley said in an annoyed tone. Stan then looked like he swallowed a lemon and hot pepper mix with how fast his face went from normal to sour and red. "Absolutely not. I forbid you to go anywhere near that terrorist, and that's final." Haley looked offended that he thought he could tell her what to do. "Like hell I will. I'm 18, you can't tell me who I can't or can't go out with," Haley shouted back as she stomped out of the kitchen while saying, "If anyone needs me, I'll be in my room." "Good, cause that where you're gonna be until I say otherwise," Stan yells, hearing a door slam, then turns to Roger and Klaus. "Why did you let him see you? Don't you realize he could be telling everyone about you even as we speak?" "Relax, Stan. Naruto won't tell anyone. We trust him," said Roger in an easygoing tone. Francine then entered the conversation. "Naruto can be trusted. He even saved me earlier today." Francine explained to her husband how he helped her with the groceries and saved her from an assailant. Sentimental hogwash, he could have staged the incident to get into your good graces. Stan accused. Francine rubbed her temples. Stan, you're still on thin ice for the first mishap you caused with Naruto. Don't make things even worse or else. Stan watches as his wife walks out the kitchen, followed by Roger and Klaus, leaving the CIA agent alone. That terrorist is turning my family against me. Well, I'll show him no one messes with Stan Smith and gets away with it. As God is my witness, I'll expose him for the terrorist that he is, no matter what it takes. Stan announced to himself as lightning struck in the background. CIA. Stan sat frustrated at his desk looking at a photo he'd taken of Naruto. The more he stared at the photo, the angrier he felt towards Naruto. No good terrorist thinks he can come into my country and turn my family against me. Well, he's got another thing coming, Stan said to himself. Two of Stan's coworkers came by his desk. These two are Dick and Jackson. Noticing he's in a bad mood, Jackson is the first to speak. Hey Stan, why the long look? He asked. Stan stares at them and talks with his grit teeth. You want to know what's wrong? I'll tell you what's wrong. A terrorist has moved into my neighborhood, and worse, he's turning my own family against me. What's even worse than having a terrorist on your own block is your daughter going a date with a terrorist. Oh sure, he claims to be Japanese, but he's not fooling me. I'm on to him and his terroristic scheme. What's he planning? Dick asked. To take over America, Stan answered, enraged, imagining his country being ruled by the enemy. And I can't let that happen. I've got to find out where Evil Lair is. Evil Lair? Isn't that unusual, Stan? Dick said. What would a terrorist need with an evil lair? He's not some Disney villain. Dick added with more ethnic on Evil Lair. Why a lot of things. Bottom line is this terrorist needs to be stopped before he destroys us all. Stan says, then smiles as he comes up with a devious plan. Say, you and Dick wouldn't happen to be doing anything tonight? Well, actually, we're going to watch the new Adam Sandler's movie. Daddy, I Did It Again, Jackson told Stan. Isn't that the prequel to Triple Daddy? He asked. That's the one. Well, that's plan's been cancelled. I need the both of you to spy on this terrorist for me, Stan said as he showed them Naruto's picture. Can't you do it yourself? Jackson questions. I've already told you, this terrorist has brainwashed my family and I've been forced to sleep on the couch for the past 2 days. He told them, which made Dick and Jackson snickered. This is no laughing matter. He knows I'm on to him, and I guarantee he's planning to silence me at this very moment. Naruto's house. Naruto is currently lifting weights as part of his morning workout. While it was normal to work out to get yourself in shape and for your health, but Naruto did it for a personal reason, the strength to protect. The death of his parents and Mikoto not only drove him to honor their memories but also to prevent what he'd gone through from happening to anyone else. He puts the weights back on the bar by the sound of someone knocking on his door. The blonde goes to see who it is, and standing there is a card dealer. Excuse me, are you Naruto Uzumaki? He questions. Yes. Any particular reason you're here? Naruto's eyes narrow suspiciously. I'm here to present you with your brand new car, he announced, stepping aside, revealing a yellow-colored SUV. New car? There must some mistake. I didn't purchase any car, Naruto said. There's no mistakes. The car was bought a few days ago by a Mr. Okard and requested it be delivered to his nephew. The blonde now understood what was happening, the moment he heard Draco's name backward and what he meant by large package. Naruto pretended to be surprised. Oh yeah, my uncle did mention to me I'd be getting one. Sorry, I must have forgotten. It alright, happens most of the time. Now here are the keys to your car, enjoy, he told Naruto as he handed the keys. After the car dealer left, Naruto goes to check out his new ride. He then notices an envelope on the driver's seat. He opens it and reads it. Dear Agent Naruto Uzumaki, if you're reading this letter, then you've received the car I purchased for you. However, before I get into details, you have to know this is no ordinary car. I had the boys in the lab modify this car for your benefit into a state-of-the-art talking car. Its name is Zeon. And all you need to do to activate Zeon is say parents love in Japanese. Zeon is equipped with stealth mode, machine guns, smoke grenades, tantrum shide, an advanced GPS, tracking device, and replaceable tires, police monitor, localized EMP, rocket launchers, twin Gatling guns, poison grenades, oil slick as for the car itself can turn into a speedboat, a motorcycle, and a plane. As a safety precaution, Xian is wired to self-destruct in the event it falls into enemy hands. I trust you won't let that happen. I know your birthday's months away, but considered Xian as an early birthday present. The blonde grinned after reading the letter. Thanks, Draco, I'll be sure to do something for you in return. I gonna take this baby for a spin. Naruto steps into his car and says the password to awaken Xian. Greetings, Agent Naruto, I'm Xian. How may I be of service to you? The vehicle spoke in a British accent. Draco wasn't kidding when he said you're state-of-the-art, and the British accent a bonus. The blonde commented, mused by the talking car. Alright, Xian, I have a date with an amazing girl tonight, and I need something fancy to wear. Can you pinpoint the best shopping stores in town? A holographic globe appears on the car's GPS mainframe, then it zooms into the area of Langley Falls. The locations of said stores are shown on screen. Naruto had become impressed with Xian more and more. I've found over 10 stores that should suit your interest. Which one would you like to go to? Xian inquired. Naruto smirked. I'm feeling optimistic, let's swing by all of them. As you wish. Smith House. Haley groans in frustration. She'd been searching for an outfit to wear, and so far she found nothing. Her room had clothes tossed everywhere. Normally she won't be all that concerned about what she wore, but after meeting Naruto she wanted things to be perfect. Sure, he's kind and caring, but deep down she had this incredible feeling about him, something she never felt from any other guy nor her ex-boyfriend Jeff Fisher. In a fit of rage, Haley throws a pair of shoes at the wall as she falls backwards onto her bed, sighing. The door opens and there stood Francine. She was downstairs doing the laundry when she heard a commotion coming from her daughter's room. Like any loving mother, Francine immediately stops what she's doing to see what's happening. Once she got to Haley's room, she pushed her ear against the door and could hear Haley's situation. Francine enters Haley's room. Are you alright, sweetie? No, I'm not. I have a date in less than 3 hours and I can't find anything to wear, Haley said. Francine sat beside Haley and put a comforting hand on her shoulder. Is that all? Francine asked with a smile as Haley nodded. Is someone nervous about their date with a certain blonde Japanese boy? I am. I guess it's because I'm worried I'll be single forever. I mean, my previous dates didn't turn out so well, Haley said. Francine looks Haley in the eyes while putting her hands on Haley's shoulders. Haley, listen to me. You're a smart, gifted, drop-dead gorgeous young woman. You really think there's someone out there for me, Mom? Haley inquired. I know so. To hell with those douchebags you gone out with, they're gay anyway, expect Jeff who's a deadbeat. My point is just yourself, besides Naruto really likes you, otherwise he wouldn't have asked you out. Haley smiles before giving her mother a hug. Thanks, Mom, you're the best. Anything for you, sweetie, Francine said, returning the hug. If you want, I could help you get ready for date. I like that, Haley replied. Hours later. Stan's car pulled up in the driveway and enters his house, where Steve, Roger, and Klaus were watching TV while Francine and Haley were nowhere around. Stan noticed something was off. Where's dinner? He asked. Francine hasn't made any. She's been with Haley since this afternoon, Roger answered. That's odd, he stated with his hand on his. She usually has dinner ready by now. What could she be doing for so long? Instead of asking us, ask her yourself, Klaus told him before turning his attention back to the TV. Good idea. Francine, get down here, Stan yelled. No less than a second, Francine appears at the top of the steps midway down the steps after hearing Stan shouting her name. What is it? What's wrong? What's wrong? I'll tell you what's wrong. I come home after a long day at work to keep this country safe and provide for this family, and all I ask is you cook me dinner, Stan told his wife. Francine rolled her eyes, annoyed. Well, excuse me for helping out daughter get ready for her date. Besides, I ordered us Mexican takeout. Oh, that's just great. First you're allowing our daughter to hang out with a terrorist, and now I'm gonna starve. Stan groans angrily as the doorbell rings. Francine answers the door since Stan was being too much of an ass to do anything except complain. There stood Naruto. His attire for the evening is a pair of white shoes, black jeans, white shirt that was buttoned up to his lower chest, leaving most of it revealed, along with a black jacket that was shorter than the shirt with white lines going from the collar, which was high, to the sleeve and 2 lines on the torso. "Hey, Francine!" Naruto greeted with a friendly smile. "Hello, Naruto, don't you look handsome?" she told him, although in the back of her mind handsome wasn't the word she wanted to say. "That outfit looks expensive, not that it's a problem or anything, but it totally looks good on you." "Thanks, I sort of treated myself to a little shopping spree this morning. All in all, I say it was worth it," he said. "I'll say it was, well, come on." Naruto walks into the smith where Steve asked him over a dozen questions, all referring the two of them hanging out, which resorted to Naruto turning him down again. While was chatting with Roger and Klaus, Francine went back upstairs to inform Haley of Naruto's arrival. Stan stood on the other side of the room glaring daggers at Naruto. "Just look at that terrorist, acting all innocent. Well, fake all you, because after tonight I'll expose you for what you really are," Stan thought devilishly. Francine returns with getting everyone's attention. "Naruto and Smith family, I give you Miss Haley." Haley slowly walks down the steps. After reaching the bottom, everyone could see she had on a black and red striped tube top revealing her cleavage, a western red mini skirt with high heels. Haley didn't have on her headband. Hair now had layers, red lipstick, pearl earrings, and her peace sign necklace had been replaced by one similar to the Francine has on. Haley smiles seductively at the blonde as she turns around, giving him a perfect view of her outfit first and back. "What do you think, Naruto?" Haley inquired. "You're even more beautiful than you normally look," Naruto stated truthfully. Stan, however, had a different reaction as his face turned red from anger as he lets out a high-pitched girly scream. A scream so loud everyone in the neighborhood stopped what they were doing to a horde of deer eating grass, then stops, and finally to reaching outside the planet. From Stan's POV, everything was dark until he slowly opened his eyes and felt something slippery inside his mouth. His eyes stared down to a horrific sight. Roger had his lips mouth on his, not only he could feel his tongue. In an instant, Stan shoves Roger off him as he jumps to his feet, spitting and rubbing his lips repeatedly to get the taste off. "What the hell, Roger? What the hell do you think we're doing?" Stan shouted at the alien. "Giving you CPR, what else?" Roger stated the obvious. "You screamed like a girl after seeing Haley, then passed out. You've been out for 30 minutes. Stan sighs with relief of some sort. "God, that worst nightmare I've ever had." "Dad, that wasn't a nightmare," Haley stated, annoyed. Another look at Haley turns Stan's face red again as he unleashes another high-pitched girly scream, following by him passing out once more. Naruto shakes his head in disappointment, wondering how anyone can deal with this sort of stupidity. "Want me to give him CPR again?" Roger asked. Francine mumbles some swear words under her breath as she kneels down and slaps Stan twice. It seemed to have worked since he regains conscious. Stan stares at his wife, then at everyone else. His eyes widen in horror at the sight of Haley's outfit. Just as he was about to scream for the third time, Francine stopped him by covering his mouth. "Stan, that's enough, and you're having a nightmare," Francine stated. "You mean all of this is real?" he asked as Francine nodded. "Oh, okay." Stan gets back on his feet and points at Haley. "What the hell are you wearing? You look like whore." "Stan!" Francine said sternly, offended he could say such a horrible to his own daughter. "Oh, come on, Francine, look at her. First she starts dressing like a whore, and the next thing you know she's off to Miami to be a porn star," he said, horrified, imagining Haley starring in all sort of adult films. "Well, I won't stand for it. Go change your clothes right now." "No, they're my clothes and I can wear them whenever I want." Haley crossed her arms across her chest, standing her ground. At this moment, Naruto came to her defense. "She's got a point, Stan. Besides, there's nothing wrong with what your daughter's wearing." Haley smiled happily that Naruto had her back, while Stan glares angrily at the blonde. "You stay out of this, terrorist. You've been nothing but trouble day. You swindle your way into our lives. You know I am getting really sick of you calling me that. Need I remind you I personally kicked your ass? And don't think I won't do it again, so I suggest back off before I really hurt you." Naruto warned Stan. Fine. You win for now, terrorist. He murmured the last part under his breath. So where are you going? Francine inquired, changing the subject. Let's just say I made us special reservations at one of the most expensive restaurants in town. They have good food and good music, Naruto answered. Sounds lovely. Well, we keep you kids waiting any longer, and have a good time. We will, Mom! Haley hugs Francine. Oh, and don't forget you're to be back at precisely 9 o'clock and no ifs, ands, or buts about it, Stan said with authority. Dad, that's only 20 minutes from now, Haley said, annoyed by her father's order. That's good, it'll be a short walk around the block and back, he smirked. We're going to be gone longer than 9 dish a bag, and that's that. By all means, keep talking just so the next thing you will earn you 2 black eyes and a fractured leg. Naruto cracked his knucks, then turns to Haley. Ready to go? Haley nodded in response as they left the house together holding hands. Haley commented on how she liked Naruto's SV, which he thanked her for. Once they were in the car, they drove off. Stan watched from the window, his eyes shift from side to side, making Francine wasn't watching. He takes out his iPhone, dialing in a few numbers. It's me, the operation is a go, stay on them and don't let the terrorists spot you either. Report back to me on his activities every 20 minutes. We're on it, Smith, Dick said over the phone. Game on, terrorist! Stan smirked. Chapter end. Tired of watching censored fanfics? Would you like to watch some very naughty, filled with the lemons fanfics without any censorship? I'm happy to announce that I opened Patreon page for you guys, where you could watch Naruto/Deku, 18+ stories without any censoring. Not only that, you can also see the NSFW images of characters of the fics on my Patreon, which I make by myself. So buy your preferred tier and join our community now. Link is in the description.